Hey guys, welcome back to some Gilded Guardians. Today's video, we're going to be looking at the tips and tricks that we can share in here on making progression faster in Gilded Guardians. Now, when it comes to commander level, once you do hit level 80 for the commander level, it gets incredibly difficult to gain more EXP. And when it comes to your commander level, that is what is going to allow you to level up your Guardians to a much higher level. But let's run through this kind of systematically, starting with our guilds. When it comes to the guild, and you also notice I have the BlueStack emulator bar. Full screen isn't working for whatever reason, so we're just going to roll with it. When it comes to the guild, there are really two things you want to really stress within here. Number one, donations. Donations in here are not only going to yield you a bunch of guild coins, but you will get these contribution points, which of course are in the guild development, so your guild can actually gain power, giving you more resources back. You have to, I repeat, have to contribute 100 diamonds or 100 rubies to your guild every single day. That is going to help with the advancement of the guild, and also with the players that are in there. It is going to help everybody within that guild. And over on the free-to-play account, I do have my FHG guild. So if you're looking for a guild, I really monitor and remove and add players on a daily basis, making sure that we have that ability. If they are inactive, we are kicking them out. If they're not doing the donations, they are being removed as well. And of course, when it comes to guild level, that goes hand in hand with the loot that you're getting out of here. You can see I got 500 extra rubies through here. There is also an auto dispatch button in our bottom left. Do not use the auto dispatch. A lot of times when you do, it doesn't give you this extra loot. It doesn't use your enlightened heroes to give you the loot. Even if you own the enlightened heroes, it doesn't prioritize using them. For whatever reason, it is still broken. It's a bug that they need to fix. Every time I auto dispatch, a lot of times I do not get the extra loot in here, which is kind of BS, but we do miss it out in its entirety. And then when it comes to guild bosses, you always have to attack every day. Cumulatively, it takes the 10 top damage dealers within your guild. That is how you get ranked and you get rewarded to build out artifacts, which again is a whole nother part that we'll talk about later. When it comes to the adventure mode, this is the place you're going to farm with adventure energy, and buying this out on a daily basis is imperative if you want to make progression. Again, going back to the commander level, this is where you got to get your energy. This is where you have to get it. The free energy with the watch to add, but also using your rubies to get your adventure energy in here. Because when you're going through here, you actually have the ability to get a crazy amount of items out of here. And the big thing you're looking for are these material chests, which will allow you to craft gear and also gold. When it comes to Gilded Guardians, gold is something we never have enough of. It's impossible, even when it comes to really leveling up or enchanting your gear. Gold will always, always, always be something you never have enough of. And farming it out of here on a regular basis, not only giving you a lot of different shards, which is going to give you souls, but overall you want to farm this out in its entirety every single day. And you want to log in probably 2 or 3 times a day to farm it out, which is the exact same when it comes to crafting. Crafting is another place where you can watch some ads. You can also farm some more energy out of here. You have to farm and you have to craft every single day. I use everything that we have in here, not only again to get the commander level, but if you ever want to get the tier 5, 6, 7 gear, you have to be farming these out. Even looking at our material boxes, we have a lot that we have been using. We go through these religiously on a regular basis. Anytime I have enough mats, I can pop open some more material boxes. They're going to allow me to go ahead and make some more progression, building out gear. And then, of course, forging gear, you always want to forge on the advanced mode, which is going to use these additional resources. Fusing, you want to save everything that you have. For instance, when I come to crafting and when I pop open some of these material boxes, here's one. We're going to go ahead and use this one up. Boom. Merging these up, that'll give us the ability to craft. You can see I'm working on a tier 7 weapon. So we'll go to the advanced mode, which is right here. We will go to the tier 7 master axe. It's going to go ahead and roll the dice. We get a regular one. Now we're going to fuse. These are going to fuse these into a legendary piece. You can see domain bonus 15. On tier 7, we have 15, we have 18, we have 24, meaning this is a tier 7 level 1 item or level 1 enchantment, level 1 item overall. So this domain bonus, I'm going to keep this one here to fuse legendary ones together, hopefully to get a 18 or a 24, depending on where we're building this out. Those two game modes will be the absolute biggest factor when it comes to your commander level and leveling up, short of doing your dailies. When you look down here, right here, we have 4, 6, 8. We have a ton of resources in here, but a ton of commander level experience as well. Now that commander level experience will go hand in hand, and it feeds right into the level of the Guardians yourself. So if you want to know how do I raise the level of Guardians, it is the commander level that it's based on. You can see right here, max level, increase your commander level to increase the Guardians max level, which is imperative to what you do. Now, of course, when it comes to Enlightenment, guys, getting these heroes up higher, getting some of these primary heroes, even if you're looking at a free-to-play player, if you're looking at Desidra, a couple other heroes, there are some important heroes in here that you can get as pay to win, but there are also some heroes in here that are very important as free-to-play. So thinking of a hero like Aloria, this, of course, is very imperative when it comes to a couple different boss modes. When it comes to the guild bosses, this is a very important hero. And again, thinking of the tips and tricks, there's specific ways that you can build these heroes out, which is kind of a cheese. But looking at this hero itself, so this hero is on level 1. If I leveled her up further, it gives me the ability to actually unlock the rest of these resources. But looking at and thinking of a boss mode, when you think of a boss mode, you're not going to have control effects. The boss is not going to crowd control you. Deflection isn't going to have any purpose in there, meaning I would just want to build this hero up in the way that I do it, using Call of War, using the Victory Horn, and only using those 2 abilities, which are pertinent to the boss fights. And actually, these abilities will be cycled faster because you're not cycling through more abilities. Now, this works for all of our heroes. This, again, is kind of a cheese where when you start looking at some of these other heroes, if there is something that they're not using, such as crowd control, you can actually drop out some of the crowd control so everything else works a little bit faster. And that's exactly what some players do. Like looking at T-Rock, for instance, since we know if we're using T-Rock in a boss mode, Wave of Fear isn't going to do anything. This crowd control aspect here, you can go ahead and just not build it when you unlock the hero. Not giving them certain skills and abilities will mean the rest of the skills and abilities are going to be used more often. We see the exact same with Tavros. A lot of players will skip this one. Again, when you're going in here to control a random enemy, when you're looking at the boss fights, you don't need this skill. You can actually go in and utilize the other skills, dropping this one out, but that is really fine tuning. So when we start looking at gear, this is another part where gear is important. Like I said earlier, when we get tier 7, you can see 24% stat boost. You can also change the secondary skills on here, which is important to note because even if it's not a perfect roll, if you get something that doesn't have all of the legendary stats, you still have the ability to essentially re-roll it into what you need it to be to maximize what is in here. And that, of course, is done through our blacksmith or our forge, making sure that you're maximizing what you have in here. Now, when it comes to the exclusive items, there are some good exclusive items. There are some that are really not too great. I'm thinking of a hero like Thorit. Even looking here, Thorit's Mask transfers 30% of Thorit's attack to a Link ally. That, of course, is going to transfer to your strongest hero, which, again, as you're building up Thorit's attack and building up the attack of Thorit much higher, the transfer is going to be there. But looking at some of the other heroes, even thinking of Aloria, this is important. All Guardians also recover 2 HP per second. So now with a hero like this, which is a basic free-to-play hero, you're getting a heal every 2 seconds when Victory Horn is being used. And of course, this is increasing your attack and your attack speed and the energy recovery, which is amazing for this hero. Definitely a big priority to have. So when you start looking at heroes, again, as a free-to-play player that are really required, Oxalis is one. A lot of players do utilize Oxalis. We see a lot of utility with this hero used in a couple different game modes. And again, thinking of what we have right here with the chromatic shift, that is really the exclusive artifact that you want to have for this hero. But when we start looking at heroes like Thorit, which again is a really big priority to have within here, super important to have because of the abilities that he does possess. But even looking at Grizel, another hero, as a free-to-play player, Grizel is one you absolutely want to have because you have the ability to link to another hero. Linking to another hero is going to increase the ultimate abilities that Grizel is having. And then when you look at here, transferring energy also increased the Link's allies attack by 50%. So what you can do to kind of cheese it, you can ult Grizel and then you can ult the hero that Grizel is following. That will result in a 50% increase in the attack. You might have to manually do it, which you usually do, but overall you can get a lot more damage out of some of your Guardians in a lot of different game modes. Now, another thing you got to note is when it comes to new heroes like Hannah, overall, make sure you're getting all the resources out of the challenge mode. And when it comes to Drib, doesn't seem like even in the new mode that Drib does anything at all. Hannah is the only one that we're actually seeing a little bit of utility out of. So if you're looking to get another hero, Hannah is the one to get out of those heroes. Now, I know it's legendary. You're going to have to buy copies. If you looked at the prayers sold out in just probably less than a day. All of the prayers for Hannah in the entirety were sold out. I got lucky. I got an elite copy of Hannah. But overall, thinking of places like the shop, even going here, again, thinking of some basic kind of areas to pick up, is going in here. If you're using your rubies for summons, you're wrong. You want to save those for crafting. You want to save them for the adventure. In the rush mode, all of these guardians are free to play. You don't want to get them. General offers, again, you do not want to get them. Do not use them. These are what you want in the entirety. You want to get all of the souls in the entirety. The arena store, it is about gold. You can get calling crystals if you want, but overall, gold is exactly what we're looking to get and farming out of here. They also added in a couple materials chests, which you could do, but overall, you are going to get the materials through regular gameplay. Looking at our guild, again, it's going to be artifacts, which remember, your guild coins right here are used to rent your artifacts. Make sure you have enough to rent those artifacts, but these are going to be summons. Even looking at the material chests here, not really a big drive. Even here, again, when it comes to the gear itself, it's only this tier 6 gear. Don't have the ability to get tier 7 gear, so this gear, if you're buying it, will ultimately just be replaced. And the endless store, you want to get all of these out in the entirety, and you could get some scrolls. It's gotten to the point where scrolls have been added to a lot of places within Guild of Guardians. So overall, building up and buying the scrolls is not really important. You can see we have 189,000 endless tokens right now. And the reason being, when you start looking at the epic refinement zones and legendary, the way this worked before is you had to go in here and you can see, like, let's say Reborn's Crest, we could buy 5 of these. At this point of Guild of Guardians, you can re-roll if you don't get the ability you want. You can also re-roll the stats on there. So there's no reason to buy really more than one of these out. Once you do have one of these available, you can go ahead and re-roll it as much as you want until you get to the point of getting exactly what you're looking for in there. Even thinking, I think Hannah's staff I don't have at this point, but we're going to have to see the utility for this hero overall. All right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys are thinking of Guild of Guardians. And as always, thank you guys for watching.